The moment you stop looking outward and begin to look within, something extraordinary happens. Something most people wouldn't even dare to dream. What once felt impossible suddenly becomes real. But not in a way anyone else could have imagined, because the world doesn't bow to observers. It bows to those who dare to lead, who have the courage to carve out their own path. Many of us grow up believing we need to imitate others, that someone else's success is our only blueprint. I believed that too, for a long time. I watched others who seemed powerful, successful, confident. I asked myself, what do they have that I don't? But every time I tried to measure my path against someone else's footprints, I felt smaller, like my destiny wasn't big enough. After many failures and sleepless nights, I realized a truth that changed my path forever. The universe moves around the ground you stand on. If your ground is built on others' expectations or society's lines, you'll never have a firm place to stand. But when you root yourself within, when you know your worth, your vision, your truth, that ground becomes unshakable. I saw this not just in my own life, but in the lives of every great person I studied. Like Andrew Carnegie, he never measured his value by someone else's wealth. He was born in a small shack. All he had was hope and a relentless desire to write his own story. While most got lost chasing the standards of others, Carnegie turned inward and discovered something no poverty, no fear could take away: the courage to create his own narrative. I felt this deeply in my own youth. Every time I compared my small steps to someone else's spotlight, I drifted further from my true path. I often asked myself, who am I to teach anything? Who am I to be heard? But in those moments, I'd close my eyes, take a deep breath, and remind myself, no one else can live my life for me. The world only bows to the one who finds their center. It's easy to measure your worth through someone else's success. But what most people don't see, and maybe even you haven't seen yet, is the fire burning inside you. A unique spark, a way of thinking, feeling, and creating that is completely yours. Every time you ignore that spark to fit into someone else's mold, you lose what only you could have created. I remember speaking to a group of young people once. Many were stuck thinking they had to copy success, others' words, style, even the way they dressed. I listened, then I shared something I had learned from Carnegie and my own journey. The greatest loss happens when you spend your energy living someone else's life. For a moment, there was silence, a few raised eyebrows. But in some eyes, I saw a spark. They understood. The answers weren't out there. Strong, they were within. And I want you to ask yourself the same. How many times have you abandoned something that felt right, just because it didn't fit with what others expected of you? How often have you silenced your inner voice out of fear that people wouldn't approve or accept you? You have to understand, real strength isn't in walking a path already paved. It's in strong daring to build a new one, even if no one else believes in it. That doesn't mean cutting off the world. It means letting every opinion, every belief, pass through the filter of your own heart. And most importantly, it means making space and time to actually listen to yourself. I've made this a daily habit. Every morning, before the world speaks to me, I pause and ask, what do I want to create today? What do I want to feel, think, live today? This simple question gives me the clarity and strength to face the loudest storms. So now I tell you, don't waste your life becoming someone else's shadow. When you stand fully rooted within yourself, when you turn your thoughts into your own sovereign kingdom, nothing can stop you. Because from that place, you're no longer competing. You're building something only you can build. This is the power of centering yourself, of turning the noise of comparison into the fertile ground for your true identity to bloom. Think about how it feels to drift through life without a clear destination, just floating wherever the wind takes you. That's what life looks like without clarity, like boarding a ship with no compass, hoping the waves will get you somewhere. Truth is, most people live this way, tossed by circumstances and opinions, losing pieces of themselves along the way. I've learned from studying the greatest minds. Clarity isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. I remember my conversation with Thomas Edison, a man who turned every failure into a stepping stone. He didn't break under failure because he had a clear picture of what he wanted. 10,000 failed attempts didn't shake him, because each one was part of the bigger vision he already held in his heart. It was this clarity that kept me going when I had no money, no connections, and no support. Just a notebook, a pen, and a purpose so clear I could ignore every voice that told me, "You're dreaming too big." Pen, I wrote every day as if each word was a brick in my future. And when I felt weak, I read those words again. And I remembered. Clarity is my only safety net. So ask yourself, how many times have you changed your course because someone said it couldn't be done? How many times did you doubt your path just because it didn't match someone else's expectations? Clarity takes courage. It asks you to dig deep and discover what you truly want, regardless of what anyone else thinks. Pen, Walt Disney knew this. Before the world ever saw a castle or a fairy tale kingdom, he saw them in full detail. So clear, he could almost touch them. That vision held him when bankruptcy came, when doors shut in his face. And I want you to experience that today. Take a piece of paper and write, honestly, what you truly want in life. Not what your family wants, not what society calls right, but what sets your soul on fire. Write what you'd still do, even without money. And once you have that vision, read it every morning. Feel it as real as the air you breathe, because when clarity becomes part of your identity, every step you take holds purpose. Every decision becomes a question. Does this bring me closer to my purpose, or farther away? A cluttered mind builds nothing, but a focused one can move mountains. So don't be afraid to dream big. Fear only exists when your vision is blurry. But when you can see your goal clearly, fear fades into a distant echo. Right now, look within and ask, do I know where I want to go? Do I know what it's going to cost me? If the answer is no, make it your top priority to find out. Because the clarity you create today becomes the foundation that holds up every dream tomorrow. I say this because I've lived it. When your purpose is clear, even the darkest nights feel lit. Even when the world says no, something inside you will whisper, keep going. That quiet belief, that inner fire, is what separates dreamers from doers. Now is the time to decide. What direction are you taking your life? Because the world only believes in you after you believe in yourself. And when you finally believe, then nothing can stop you. Success doesn't come without detours. There will be stumbles. There will be voices that say, turn back. But it's in those exact moments that the strength appears. The kind that can't be found in those who quit. I didn't learn this from books I wrote or interviews I took. I learned this from the scars of my own battles. I remember when hunger knocked on my door, and all I had was a burning desire to write. No one cared. I could have given up. Told myself the odds were against me. But something inside me screamed, this is just the beginning. Even when food was scarce and cold crept through the walls, I refused to quit. Because real resilience isn't built on sunny days, it's born in the darkest nights. This is the real difference between winners and quitters. It's not talent, it's not luck. It's relentless grit. Some say success is just fate. But fate only favors those who, strong, refuse to stop. Fate walks with the ones who keep moving, even when others sit down. Every failure isn't the end. It's just a turn on the road to your destination. Each fall teaches you, strengthens you, and keeps your eyes locked on your dream. So now I ask you, how many times have you let an obstacle stop you? How many times have you quit after the first difficulty, when you could have just kept going? The world owes you nothing, but it rewards those who don't give up. I remember being laughed at for saying I'd interview minds like Andrew Carnegie and Thomas Edison. People saw an unknown kid and thought I'd never get there. But I didn't believe their predictions. Every no was an invitation to try again. Every door that shut brought me closer to the one that would open. Pain can break you or build you. And hear this, perseverance doesn't just mean keep walking. It means believing, even when everything says you shouldn't. There is a fire in you that no storm can extinguish. Recognize it, nurture it, and protect it with everything you've got. Yes, you'll fail. Yes, you'll be afraid. And yes, sometimes you'll want to quit. But if you can take just one more step, you will find what I've found. Real strength isn't never falling. It's in rising every time. One day, when you look back, you'll feel proud of the moments you chose to keep going. That quiet victory, that pride, is worth more than any treasure, because it proves you've always had everything you needed inside you. Let's rise together. In the next video, we'll take another step up the ladder of your own mind, so you can grow a little stronger than yesterday, every single day. Thank you for being here. I'll see you in the next one.